Thank you so much for agreeing to this. So, 2019 to 24, first time as an MP. So, what is the good, bad, ugly about being an MP in North Chennai specifically?
2019, we were in the opposition, and when we were campaigning, we could see that people were, they were, exuberant, and they used to come outside their house and garland you, aartis and all those things, paraphernalia. And they were very clear that they did not want BJP government to be formed, and they gave their solidarity to us. You have to understand that this was in the wake of 2014, where DMK government did not even win a single MP seat in that period, because we did not have a prime ministerial candidate at that point in time. So 2019, our Honorable Chief Minister, he had announced that Rajiv Gandhi was our prime minister candidate, and we faced the elections, and we got a resounding victory. In fact, I think the victory what happened in 2019 was probably the highest at that point in time. Margins, I'm saying, the margins of the victory. So after becoming a member of parliament, went to parliament and participated in, the proceedings of the house, the debates and questions and everything. And senior MPs who were 6th term or 7th terms MP, and they used to make statements saying that progressively the parliamentary performance in terms of members, debates and everything has been deteriorating for the last 6 sessions, 6 parliamentary sessions. And they said that the last 2, the 14 and 19, were the worst. And they said that during this 2019, they used to say that this is the worst parliament we have ever seen.
Okay.
And in fact, a lot of them, quite a few of them, even said that this will be our last term and we will not be participating in any more elections henceforth. But for us, from DMK, we have been raising issues, and in fact, there are quite a few things which we have achieved. A lot of people are under the impression that what did these MPs do because it is a BJP government and they could not have done anything. At least I can speak for myself. I can say that 2 major issues, which is not related to my constituency, just related to our region. One was about the Vande Bharat trains. Vande Bharat trains, initially there was a proposal where they were planning to import these coaches from Europe. And there was a huge budget, about 16,000 crores or something. And then there was this, at the same time, there was a similar model which was developed indigenously in ICF Chennai. And the cost of that would have been 9,000 crores. But for some unknown reasons, I will leave it to anybody who wants to assume whatever they want. This proposal was being thwarted, where they raised suspicions about the people who were involved in the development, and departmental action was taken against them. And so when this was brought to my notice, I spoke about this in Parliament, and then subsequently, the then Minister for Railways, Mr. Piyush Goyal, met him and explained this to him. And also, I gave interviews about how the government is talking about, especially the Prime Minister, keeps talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. But when something like this is going to happen, that the whole thing is being put off. And then subsequently, then I got a letter from the Railway Minister saying that the trains will be manufactured from ICF, because ICF is also a part of it is in my constituency. So for me, that was a very great decision. Similarly, HVF Avadi. I was in the Defence Committee, and there were talks about where they were inclined to import these tanks, whereas HVF Avadi, they had the capacity to manufacture the same tanks in this Avadi facility itself. So again, I spoke in the committee. I have had a lot of deliberations, and subsequently, then Rajnath Singh was the Minister for Defence at that point in time. Even now he is. And then when I explained all these to him, the order was given to HVF Avadi. In fact, the director of DRDO, when they came here to inaugurate that event or some program, he called me to come for the program. So I because he invited, and gone there, and he said, like, if not for Dr. Kalanidhi's effort, this might not have happened. So I would like to thank him. So it's on record, like, where he has made the statement. And then subsequently, the railway minister was, the portfolio was changed, where, I forget the name of another minister who had come. So I requested him to take action against prompt action to see if there was anything wrong with what the people who designed the train, because all these people had been will suffer because when they have a departmental inquiry, their promotions, their pay increases, all these things become problematic. So I said, like, you investigate, because you know about government investigations, they can say that it can keep going on for years together. So I insisted that it be done at a faster pace so that they can get their relief. Or if you find that there is evidence that they have done something wrong, then you can take appropriate action. So they sped it up, and within a matter of 6 months or so, they cleared all of them, and they were reinstated. So I see that these are two small things which, as a individual and member of parliament, I have done. And then subsequently, now we've been in the constituency, we've been constantly meeting the people, and I've done quite a bit of work, which we all put up we have a habit, I have a habit of giving books every parliament session. I give a book about what I have done in the last 4 months. Okay. So each session when I go, I give these books to our chief minister to show him. It's more like a report card about what I have done in the last 4 months, and everything is there, whatever I have done in the parliament, in my constituency. And so that way, I think our Honorable CM was very happy with my performance, and he has given me another opportunity to face these elections in 2024 from the same constituency.
Right. So what have been the major spends from the MP lads in your constituency? What do you see as the impact of your spending there?
See, when after I became member of parliament, our party has always been very focused that health and education are the two most important areas. So to that end, most of my MP lads has gone towards development of schools. And in some schools, furniture will be in such a dilapidated state, they will be sitting on the floor and studying. So we've spent a few lakhs on tables and chairs. But bulk of it was for infrastructure development in the form of building a classroom. And also the other thing is hospitals in my constituency. Stanley Medical College, RSRM College, and Kiruvattur College. These places we have provided with equipments, especially during COVID. All of us gave about 1 crore of rupees for the medical requirements at that point in time. And other than that, we have developed some parks, shuttle court to improve sports in our constituency. So these are the things which we have done with our MP lads. I have a list especially about what my MP lads has been for each assembly constituency. I have 6 assembly constituencies. So I have given how it has been shared with all the assembly constituencies so that no one feels left behind. That I did not do it. I did more to it because our Honorable Chief Minister's assembly constituency also falls in North Chennai constituencies. So I did not want to have anybody saying that I spent the bulk of it in his constituency. So I have spread it across all the 6 constituencies, and the list is available for you to perceive.
Yeah, so when it comes to Ennur, be the pollution, environmental issues or livelihood issues, health, people there have legitimate concerns. They continue to suffer also. Why do you think the people in your constituency continue to suffer, and what have you done for them? Okay,
so you have to understand that when you talk about Chennai, North Chennai was the original Chennai probably a century ago or probably a couple of centuries ago. Because those days, port activity was the only forms of economic activity. So if you look at port area, the R.K. Nagar, Royapuram, Fort St. George area, these were the areas where everything used to happen. And when the Industrial Revolution came, post-freedom, around that time, the setting up of industries was a major thing. And if you see that, you'll have power generation units, ammonia factories, CPCL has maybe 7 or 8, and most of these are environmentally compromising kind of institutions, and that is why we have a pollution control board. And in fact, during my tenure, apart from this 2 years of lockdown and everything, we had consultations with the industries, with the officials of Pollution Control Board and the stakeholders. I mean, like the people living in and around over there, and NGOs who were actively involved in pollution issues. So we used to have, we had some 2 or 3 meetings where we were insisting on these companies trying to see how we can reduce the pollution levels. Because if you go by the statistics of what the Pollution Control Board displays, I mean, like what they get, because all these data are expected to be uploaded onto a site where the common public can access it and see it. So instead of somebody going, because and most of the people in North Chennai are probably not going to be aware about how to go about doing this. So we were insisting that there should be a display of the air pollutions and what are the levels. I mean, like they have some 10 parameters which needs to be looked into. I mean, like particulate matter beyond a particular size, I think it's 2.5 microns or something. And then carbon monoxide, ammonia. So all these parameters to be reported live so that like present values can be on display. And also that these boards should also be kept in public areas where throngs of people are there, so that people will be aware about what is happening. And we also wanted to have more number of monitors, I mean, like to be installed, sensors to be installed in and around, not in a given different point, but also have mobile sensors so that you can identify which areas are having any, say, higher levels of exposure or something like that. And we also had requested the Pollution Control Board. They do not have any office in North Chennai. So we requested that in Zone 1. Zone 1 is the area where most of these industries are functioning. So we asked that an officer from the Pollution Control Board be stationed in Zone 1, and which was complied with. And they had put up one person. So now we are planning to ask them to set up an office, because after this Midjan cyclone, you know that, I mean, like a lot of issues cropped up over there, the oil leak and then the subsequent Coromandel gas leak. So all these things. So we need to be a bit more stringent, because after the gas leak of Coromandel is when I came to know that the environmental clearance, whatever was given, had stipulated on a few things which needs to be done by the factory, which is like periodic dry runs. I mean, like creating awareness among the villages in their sort of surrounding villages, where they are expected to explain to them about how to protect themselves in case of a gas leak. And they are also expected to sound an alarm, which is fairly loud, to warn the public. So none of these were done. So this is the reason why, I mean, like as soon as this gas leak happened, I went and met patients in the hospital who were hospitalized. There were about 50 odd patients who were admitted, and the bulk of them were in private hospital in Tirupati itself, and 4 or 5 of them were in Stanley hospital. So I went and met these patients, and everybody had obviously some respiratory issues and like eyes, a little bit of burning and irritation in the eyes. But there was no life-threatening issues, but that does not give us any kind of thing. So we wanted to see how it has to be sorted out. And then on December 4th, there was a meeting where elected representatives, MLAs, MPs, and the commissioner, collector, and then commissioner, and industrial safety officer. So all these people, we had a discussion with the public, general public over there, and they were all of the view that this factory should not be functioning here, because they claim that though the Pollution Control Board is trying to kind of contain the pollution, they say that they have a lot of health issues related because of this. In fact, I have also requested the government to conduct a survey to see if the claim is true. I mean, like if genuinely if there is a problem where the health standards in and around these factories area is worse compared to the general public. So we have requested for, because unless we have some kind of a data, it is very difficult to say anything about any particular industry. You can't just make an accusation and then say that, okay, this is the cause, and then we can do this. So we have asked for that, but taking their words, I thought that what they had requested was genuine concern. So the next day, December 4th, this meeting happened. On December 5th, I went and met the Union Minister for Environment, gave him a request letter saying that this industry needs to be shut down. So he has said that we will study into this matter and then we will take appropriate action. And we have mentioned all these facts in that letter. And then we have also informed the state government that this should not be opened up. And because the state government was very persistent about this steroid factory, where there were a lot of concerns and a few people were even shot dead. So the government had taken a tough stand and they had closed down, where the Supreme Court had itself had ordered for the closure of the steroid factory. So now again, this case also is pending in the court, and right now the company is not functioning. So now we have to await the decision of the court. So we hope that the court will do a proper, thorough study and analysis and take a decision which is going to be taking the people's request into consideration.
So around 4 villages around Ennore have also boycotted.
Yeah, Chennai. No, I went and spoke to those villages.
Okay.
So I requested them that that boycotting the elections is not a solution for. I laid down all these facts. I mean, I have evidences to show whatever I have done. And I told them, see, we are working with you, we are for you, and we have shut down this factory. It is not opened up. And we are confident that the court will have, they will go through the entire facts and then take an appropriate decision. So they have agreed that they will be participating in the election process. So I don't think, that was a statement which was made at that moment, where subsequently they have withdrawn that. They assured me that all these villages will be participating in the election process.
Okay. So as you mentioned earlier, improving medical facilities was one of your major board promises, and yet when this gas leak happened, they had to go to Stanley, or as you mentioned, they had to go to the private hospitals. So what exactly is happening with the medical facilities?
See, the thing is, Ennore and Manali, the healthcare is yet to be improved. There is space for improvement over there. And to that end, I have requested, our party has already released a manifesto where they have mentioned that an ASI hospital will be set up in North Chennai. When you say North Chennai, you have to understand that North Chennai is such a vast land area, and we can't, just blindly say that North Chennai is a poor area. It is, people are all in a very pathetic shape. I would say that the coastal areas is where the most of the brunt of the economic fallout is. Tiruvallur, Akinagar, Royapuram. And then if you come progressively towards inland, you will find that Perambur and Tiruvallur is a mix. So I would say that maybe 60-70% of the people will be a bit on the economically poorer side in the coastal areas. As you come inland, Kolathur will be relatively, comparable to Annanagar. That is our Chief Minister's constituency. I would say that it will be more of middle class and upper middle class people, or maybe even rich people over there. Whereas towards the coast, it is the poor ones who are there. So we are planning to, we have requested that the ESI hospital, which is going to come up, be established in Ennore Manali area. And apart from that, we have also requested for a medical college to be started over there. Not only medical college, because everybody is under the impression that this is an area where it is an industrial area, so education has not been given that amount of importance. So we want to have some premier institutions over here so that the children over here get an opportunity. And if it is a government institution, it will be all the more better. So we have requested that medical college, engineering college, and arts and science colleges be established over here. So the next effort of ours will be to see how that can be established. And in fact, I have been following up on starting a Kendra Vidyalaya school in Tiruvallur. And land for that had already been identified, about 8 acres from Southern Railway. Southern Railway were magnanimous enough to say that they have this land which they are willing to. But the government of India, 1 year ago, they came out with land use policy where there has been a change where it is made difficult, if not impossible, for railway land to be used by Kendra Vidyalaya. The standoff is that railway is willing to give it at a very meager rate of 1 rupee per square meter lease, which amounts to about 4,000 rupees for an 8-acre plot, roughly. And so 4,000 rupees is technically not a very large amount, but the problem is Kendra Vidyalaya has a policy where they say, irrespective of the extent of land, they will pay only 1 rupee for the school as lease amount. So when you say 1 and 4,000, so now I'm trying to kind of see how it can be bridged. In fact, I offered them saying I will pay up upfront for 30 years or 90 years from my own pocket also if needed. They said no, that cannot. I mean, that's not how the government functions, so we cannot do that. So we are trying to see how it can be resolved, and I'm sure that it will be resolved, and the school will be established over there. So we want to see how educational opportunities will be better, and also we wanted to start. Requested the Honorable Chief Minister to start IT corridor, because I mean, like if you look at employment, all these high-tech employments are restricted to places in South Chennai mostly and a little bit in Central Chennai. So I'm thinking that the concept should be changed, where even here we have to have this kind of opportunities for the people living over here. I mean, there are about 15 lakh voters in this constituency, which makes the population over there about 20 lakhs, and several thousands, I mean, lakhs of students are there, where they will be benefited. If we give them the opportunity, I'm sure that they will be able to, I mean, improve their quality of life.
You have already given a statement that the DMK government will not let this happen.
Yes, sir.
So you still stand by it, or like how do you? I have seen you raising this in the debate in the parliament and everything. How do you plan to systemically oppose this? Like when the paperwork keeps moving on one side, though we keep giving statements on the other hand, right? Like so, how do you systemically plan to?
No, see, the thing is, in this process, the first thing is calling for a public debate. So I am trying to see how it can be stalled where the public debate does not happen. And see, the reason why we are against this is because the effects of that on the fishermen in that locality. See, all these people, these villages and hamlets which are there, fishing is their, I mean, like their livelihood. I mean, like they know nothing else other than fishing. And they are saying that if this is allowed, technically what they are talking about is 6,000 acres of land to be acquired, out of which 2,000 acres is to be reclaimed from the sea, 2,000 acres from the marshlands in that region, and 2,000 acres of private property. So they claim that all this, if they chase this out, I mean, like what is going to happen to their livelihood, and they have some genuine concerns. So we are saying that you can identify places along the coast, somewhere else, because everything, whatever is happening, if it is happening around in and around North Chennai, the quality of life of these people is, I mean, like consistently it's going down. We understand that economy is important, but not at the cost of human lives or human health. So we have been trying to see how it can be stalled, and there was a meeting which was supposed to be called prior to our government, prior to 2021, where, and I spoke to the collector and I sent an official letter stating that we object to this conducting of this public meeting, because it was far away from the site where this actual thing is going to be happening, and not adequate notice was given. So now we have said that, and we have also explained this to our Honorable Chief Minister, where we have gotten clearance that the government will support in ensuring that the sport activity does not happen.
Another poll promise of yours was to clear this traffic congestion in North Chennai, especially the lorry corridors. You said you will bring up the lorry corridors. So, but when I speak to public, they say the issue still persists and the traffic still exists. So,
okay, so if you look at the things that I have done and I have not done, so one of them is this traffic corridor. One of the problems is that the budget is huge and allocation, and the government, though we have placed requests, nothing concrete has happened so far. And if you look at two things, one is this corridor, which is the container traffic. I mean, it's a nightmare in that place, because even I go to the constituency and I get stuck in traffic for a very long time. So it is a concern which I am very, very aware of. And the other thing is railway gates. There are about 7 railway gates in North Chennai. So I have always made it a point that within a city, especially a city like Chennai, I think there should be no railway level crossings at all within the city limits at least. Because when you're talking about city limits where like thousands and if not lakhs of people are there, suddenly if there is an emergency, even for an ambulance to go through, it becomes kind of a huge problem and they have to wait and go. So out of the 7 level crossings, 4 we have started, where like I have repeatedly made this request in central government, and I met with the Southern Railway GM. I mean, like since I came as a member of parliament over here, there are 4 GMs have come and gone. So every time like I go and keep talking this out constantly, periodically, where level crossing gates work has started. So one is in Tiruvallur in a place called Annanagar, and the other is in a Arcot N constituency, and two others in Royapuram. So three more are, yet to be, work has to be started. So I'm sure that, next time when I'm given an opportunity, if people give us an opportunity, we will definitely ensure that all the level crossings in North Chennai will be a thing of the past.
The Kodingur biomining works were in the way. So, like in Perungudi, there is also the public or wanting it to be converted into a wetland or something. So, what exactly is going to come to the reclaimed land in Kodingur?
See, the land over there is about 350 acres of land, and once this biomining process, this is a 2-year process. Nothing is going to be seen hopefully we are trying to see if it can be done within a year, because a similar project was done in Lucknow, and that's how we were talking about this biomining process, because from 2019 I have been constantly meeting the urban development minister, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri. So I've repeatedly made requests for this Kodingur dump-yard. And now I think our Honorable Chief Minister has already inaugurated that program where biomining process will be started, and I think all the contractors and everybody have been identified. So within a year or two, we can't expect anything concrete over there, but within 2 years, I'm sure that the Kodingur dump-yard will be transformed, where about 150 to 200 acres of land will be generated. My first thought is that it should be developed into a kind of a park as a breathing space for North Chennai, because North Chennai we have a lot of all these industries. So if we can have a park with plenty of greenery over there, I'm sure it will. But ultimately, it is the government of Tamil Nadu, state government, which will be deciding. But I will place a representation saying that it can be converted into an area where one of these Milwaukee forests partly, and a little bit of park area and play area. It can be converted where it can be used by the people over there.
Right. There's the 7,000 flats there near this Ennur thermal power plant built in the middle of this. Those was built during the ADMK period. The recent report says it is going to be soon handed over for allotment to people.
Yes.
And from what we read, it is poor people are going to be housed there. So though it is from your opposition, old government, how do you plan to undo this mistake? Like, it's not a good decision to house the people in the middle of this industry. Right? Like, how do you see this issue?
No, see, the thing is, it is a very tricky question. Because I personally feel that bringing in more houses in the midst of all these industrialized areas probably is not a wise decision, but the previous government has done it. See, the alternative is to bring it down, but that would be a criminal waste of resources. But so we have to weigh the pros and cons of what is going to happen, because even to convince people to come and live over there, I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm sure, because when we talk about North Chennai, there are places in North Chennai, especially in Arcot and Royapuram, where the roads are, what you would call as a road, the whole width of the road will be only about, say, 4 feet or something, where not even an auto can go, only a two-wheeler can go, and there'll be hutments. It's all hutments. And we have tried convincing them to relocate. But the thing is, these people once you call it your home, then the familiarity is not with the people over there. Even the ambience, the surrounding, everything is a part of your home. So when we inform them that there is a possibility of these people to be relocated elsewhere, we have a lot of resistance. So they say that in the same place, if you're going to build and give us something, then we will be happy to stay back over here. So it is a challenge, and I think the government of Tamil Nadu will have to take a call on how it's going to be eradicated.
Right. The last question is, what are your poll promises?
This Ennur expressway, this is one thing which has been missed out. So we are trying to focus on this, and also already I have told you about the educational opportunities. Setting up of new colleges over there, where the students will have better opportunities. Because even if there is a bright student over here, if they need to go to college, it need not be a situation where they have to go to central Chennai or South Chennai for their education. We should be able to have those kind of facilities in this constituency itself. And Kendra Vidyalaya School, the work which I have been following up, because if you see South Chennai and Central Chennai, they have 3 Kendra Vidyalaya seats, whereas North Chennai, 75 years, and now we don't even have a single Kendra Vidyalaya school over there. And if you see, most of the government employees are there, be it railways, a lot of central PSUs are there. So all these people, it can be an opportunity where all these people also will be having facilities where their children can be sent to a school like this. So we are working on that. And for the fishermen, we have already started work on two fishing harbors, one in Tiruvuttur and one in Royapuram, where at a cost of about 180 crores and 120 crores. And also the Kasimedu fishing harbor, we have promised that state-of-the-art facility will be made available over there, and the work is going on. And apart from that, we were able to convince Chennai Port Trust to put up groins where, these are usually to prevent soil erosion. Because when I go to Tiruvuttur, they say that people who are in their 50s or late 50s or early 60s, they say that there used to be a temple 2 kilometers away, and now most of it is submerged. So, I think soil erosion is a major problem. And one of the reasons why we are objecting to Adani Port is, whenever you have a port activity happening, to the north of the port, erosion happens where the speed with which it recedes, the land recedes, is much larger when there is a port activity. And we need to put in a lot more groins, and we need to find newer technologies, because traditionally we have always been having this groins going straight out. So now they are saying that, I'm not an expert on the subject, but because of these issues, I keep talking to people who are knowledgeable about this, and they say that there are different methods of doing it. One is the earliest and the most primitive one is to put up a groin straight out where the rocks are just laid over there. And the other one is to have it in the shape of a T, where the erosion is much lesser, because even as it washes up, it stays within the shape, this ledge over there. So we are trying to see how more groins can be put up to prevent soil erosion. And like I said, industrial corridor for employment opportunities for you. And the other thing is, we wanted to improve sporting facilities over here, because the children over here in this region, they have a very great interest in football and boxing. So, we have set up one shuttle court over here. We are trying to see how we can encourage youngsters to take up sports, because typically everybody keeps saying that North Chennai is an area where there is a lot of drugs being circulated amongst youngsters and all those things. So we want to see how this can be tackled by diverting their attention into something which is much more constructive and healthier. So to that end, we are promoting all these things. And in fact, in our Chief Minister's constituency, turfed football court has been constructed at a cost of about 2.5 crores by the government of Tamil Nadu. And I can see that a lot of children are utilizing the facility. When we see that, we feel that more facilities like that should be started off over here. So, and using CSR, I have also constantly developed parks and all those things, because so many industries are there, and I don't know what happened prior to 2019. But all these companies were sending their money, because they are a pan-India company. They used to send money here and there. Now after I came here, I made it a point that all the industries over here should spend their CSR in their locality for the surrounding public. And that is the way we were able to get this groins to be built by Mr. Sunil Paliwal, the chairperson of Chennai Port Trust. So it took us 2 years to have dialogue between the state government and the Chennai Port Trust, because this project was pending for about 15 years, because there was a dispute about some 20 crores who should be spending. So that was for the GST. So the GST tax comes to about 20 crores. So they were saying that why should we be paying for the GST? And then the state government said it is a project which is theirs, and why will we pay GST for their project? So there was a tussle, and then finally there was a situation where in Ahmedabad, they were developing a port as a heritage port at the cost of about some 500 crores. and the government of India had told all the ports to put their CSR money for the development of that port. So I wrote to the Honorable Prime Minister raising strong objections, saying CSR activity is not is meant for the people who have suffered because of the existence of these factories. So it is not right for depriving them of their due amount of. And then we were able to convince that 75 crores was held back, and from that they paid the 20 crores additionally, and this happened. The cost of that was 141 crores. So we are trying to. There's a request for desilting the Kosastalaya River and the seabed in that region, because of all these factories over there, a lot of sludge and everything has gone where the seabed has come up, and this has caused a lot of problems for the fishermen over there. So the total project for all these groins and everything put together comes to about 1,600 crores. So we are trying to see how we can convince the governments to make sure all this is done. So I'm already in discussion with the state government, and we are sure that within the next 5 years we'll be able to do all these things.